And ask Pastor John Walworth to come forward and give us our invocation. I'd just like to let you all know he's from the Congregational Church here in Perry. He is now retired. So I'd like us all to thank him for his years of service here in Perry.
Not every day that I get a clap offering. Yeah. All right, that's great. Dear Father, as this Perry City Council begins to convene and to deliberate on the welfare of the city, I pray, Lord, that you would be with them, give them a sense of unity in mind and spirit, and yet let them enjoy the freedom of individual character and speech, Lord. Thank you for opportunities, Lord, to further the government and the welfare of this city. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, John. He's there now, but they're going to trade off. They might just want to send something to welcome him. Did you see it? I told him you would get back with us next week. Oh, I forgot. I think so. Another round. But does he need to pull in a permit? Okay. He said they're going to tear off the back.
I know.
He said it's different.
Just move over.
Sit on the floor.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm just spreading out. Taking over Shirley.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable. That's just how I got.
It's 7 o'clock by my watch, so I'll call the meeting to order. Ask you all to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Shirley, would you take roll call, please?
Mayor Hammond.
Here.
Henry Bamber.
Here.
Mike Connell.
Here.
Bob Porter.
Here.
Chad Fuller.
Here.
Tina Dunn. Here. David Puffer.
Here.
Next on our agenda, we have approval of the agenda.
I move that the agenda be adopted as printed.
Second.
We have a motion from Mike, seconded by Chad. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Now looking for council meeting minutes of March 21st approval.
I move that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes from March 21, 2024 regular meeting. Second.
We have a motion from Bob, seconded by Larry. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Do we have anyone here for a pre-approved report? I don't see it. And now we can be open for public comment. We do limit that to a 5-minute time period. Is there anyone here who would like to come forward and have a public comment? Seeing none, we'll move to communications. Shirley, do you have anything for us?
I did hand out a letter received regarding the public safety assessment that we received this afternoon. So you guys did receive that, and that is it.
Thank you. We'll move into department head reports then. Megan, you're on the list first.
Good evening. I have no report tonight because of the budget meeting, and I think we covered just about everything I can cover. So are there any other questions for me
I have a
about?
question. Have we had anybody sign up for the tree thing?
No, and that closed April 1st, so we did not order any trees for the
Okay, I
tree
just
sale.
wondered.
Yep, we didn't receive any
That's too
orders.
bad.
Yeah. Taxes have all gone to county. Residents can pay any delinquent taxes at the county. Everything is settled with them. I know residents have been paying some delinquent bills with them. It'll be about a month or so, and then the county will distribute back to us any unpaid property taxes that they're now collecting on our behalf. So now we just move forward with the budget. That's what will keep me busy for the next month or so, getting ready for the end of the year. Anything else?
Any questions for Megan? Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Wade.
John Souders filling in for Kevin Tyler. He's absent tonight because of a death in his family. Thank you, John, for filling in.
So April 1st, we started, well, we didn't start on the 1st, but this week we chipped brush and picked up loose leaves, what was left over. So that'll continue. There's no specific day in April. It's just weather permitting when we get to it. And then once April's over, we'll start back with the bags. And I'm not gonna go over all the rules, but everything's on the website. You can find it. We'll tag it if it's getting crazy. The Jubilee Park bathrooms will open in the middle of the month. So that'll be ready for use after the 15th of April. We did a sewer line relining on Washington Street and on Madison. That went well. So the life expectancy without digging that up should be 50 to 100 years is what has been in the past told us. So for at least the gravity, the laterals, some of those may need repair at some point in life, but the main part of it is structurally sound.
Great.
We're doing the lagoon runoffs. We'll start another one on Monday, and we'll run for 10 days. We're still working on water service line inventories, home inspections. We're not going in your home to look at anything other than the water service line. If you get a letter, it just helps us follow the EPA rules and Michigan Eagle reporting. We're planning on spring hydrant flushing. Kevin and I talked, I think we're shooting for sometime the first week of May, possibly second. It should go out on the utility bills, is what we did update the sign at the end of, down by CarQuest. It just got a new, so they both match. The other one was, I don't know, like 10 years old or so, pretty faded out, so you notice that? Just trying to keep Gary looking good. Any questions?
Council, any questions for John? Thank you
Thanks.
again.
Thank you.
Shirley?
I'm just reminding everyone about the nominating petitions still available. Just come see me upstairs. 3 seats, 4-year term expiring in December 1st of 2028, 1 2-year partial term expiring December 1st of 2026, and the 1 2-year mayor term, which would be expiring December 1st of 2026. So I did receive this letter, a couple weeks ago? Yeah, around the middle of March, and there was just a lot of people here the last meeting. So this is from the Shiawassee County Clerk's Office, just saying that the Canvas Board was pleased to say that they found no issues in our election. So keep up the good work, and thanks for doing a great job. So
Yes, and we'll second that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shirley.
so it was not me, it was the people who helped me. Believe me. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Police Chief Kralbach.
Good evening again, everyone. I do not have much of a report. I do want to let you know that I have been in the office working on the extreme risk protection order policy that we're going to be having in place. This law took effect the 13th of February. I may have mentioned it before, but it's pretty extensive as far as what our response is to this law change. So I've been pretty diligent with working with probably 4 other chiefs in the county and several other chiefs beyond that. And it's really consumed a lot of time for pretty much all of law enforcement in the state of Michigan because of this change. So that being said, beyond that, I did attend a 2-day seminar up in Roscommon for our Law Enforcement Action Forum, which is acronym down to LEAF. It's a part of the Michigan Municipal League. I've been doing that for several years, and it's a very worthwhile time. About 30 other chiefs that get together and we argue about words and come to conclusions with words and policies for model policies to spread throughout the state of Michigan through Michigan Municipal League. So very worthwhile endeavor, but that was in March. And I do want to let everybody know that April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So be aware of that. If you come through the front doors at City Hall, you'll see pinwheels, and those pinwheels represent the Child Abuse Prevention Month. So, and then at the request of the mayor, I put together a list of positions outside of the Perry Police Department that I have throughout the county and beyond. And
I asked Kyle to do this, and
there you go.
he's so not proud. I don't really know how to say that.
Humble.
He doesn't, yes, humble's a good word. He is very humble, and he hesitated to want to share all the other positions that he fills, but it all works together for the city of Perry, and it brings so much benefit to the city of Perry. So I asked him to let council and those here know what he does. So please, Kyle.
So as I mentioned, I've been a member of LEAF through the Michigan Municipal League since 2013. Here in the county, I've been on the Local Emergency Planning Commission as the Public Information Officer since 2014. The city representative for the Hazard Mitigation Planning Committee. Been doing that since 2014. I am currently the chair of the Shiawassee County 911 Board, and I've been on the board since 2015. I've been a truck instructor and trainer for church security within the county since 2017. I've been an active violence instructor and trainer since 2017. currently on the threat assessment team for Perry Schools, and I've done that for the last 2 years. And I am the Chief of Police's representative for the Community Corrections Board at the county level. And I'm also the treasurer of the Mid-Michigan Chiefs of Police Association. So.
And you coach the track team.
And I'm a coach for the track team, and we're in the thick of it and having fun. So,
Does anybody have any questions for Kyle?
Not a question, but I guess, would you just remind everyone, Kyle, about Everbridge and the fact you can go on the website to sign up for that? That is, if I'm understanding correctly, is becoming a replacement for the Smart 911, correct?
Correct.
At the county level?
it is, yep, and I don't currently know where we're at the county level for that. But if you go to Everbridge, if you go to Shiawassee.net and go to the Emergency Management tab, scroll down and you'll find a link or another tab to click on for Everbridge, and that allows you to sign up for Shiawassee County or through Shiawassee County to receive notifications. The thing that I have been impressed with Everbridge is the fact that you could be driving through Tennessee on your way back from spring break, and if that community is linked with Everbridge or communicates through Everbridge, you will receive a notice for that area if you're driving through there. So I like that aspect a lot.
There's also a quick link on our website.
Did we add that?
In
Okay.
the important information section on the right-hand side of the homepage, there's
Thank
a
you.
sign up for Everbridge. And it'll link you to the starting point, not the click here.
Yeah, no, thank you. I forgot that we had talked about that. We do have that through our own webpage, so thank you.
I just encourage everybody, if they haven't signed up for it, to go try to do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't have a need to listen to anything on it, but you never know.
Yep, if you need to boil water or whatnot, then that would be where we push that information through.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Anyone else?
All right.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
I don't have any reports, so we'll move to committee reports. And I'm gonna have Chad go first, because he has something that he wants to tell everybody.
All right.
That fact that you're here is a
Yeah.
sign.
So I have been absent from the city council since November, I do believe, of last year. The reason why I've been absent, and I'm thankful that the committee, or the council voted me to be able to do this. I have been taking my EMT classes, and I am proud to announce that I passed the practicals and I passed the class. The next step is the National Registry EMT test, and then once I pass that, then I am licensed as an EMT for the state. So, thank you for letting me be absent, and very happy to get that done and over with. I just have one more hurdle. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
And now would you give us a parks committee report?
So, the park crowdfunding update, this is for the funding that we've had going on. I have some things here. Park champions, the names are, as of right now, Shiawassee County Foundation, Motor City Electric Company. The next one down is Park Partners, that is Woodworth Commercial. United Way of Genesee County, serving Shiawassee County. I Company, Josh and Lindsay Bonard, I hope I pronounced that last name correct. The Puffer family, the Galbraith family, Thomas and Brenda Bridges. There's a full list of suppliers that are on the platform also. Total collected to date is $7,400, and we have 43 days left to go, and I do believe the way everything's going, we will meet our goal on this. The next park meeting is April 16th at 6 p.m. right here at Chambers. Yeah, I can't talk tonight. it's right here, sorry.
You're rusty.
Yeah, so that as of right now is all I have. And again, I want to thank the council for letting me do that. So
Yes. Jacob, did you have anything to add about the parks thing?
No, not really. Chad's been very communicative in his absence, so he's well up to date. There's a couple numbers on there that have been commitments that aren't tracked too, so 7-4 is checks in hand.
Megan, did they do a good job? Okay. Any other committee reports?
Just to make everybody aware, the ordinance committee is not met for a while, but we do have a meeting scheduled next Wednesday, April 10th, here in council chambers at 11 a.m. It's a slight day and time change to try to accommodate all the members. We'll pick up on a few loose items that we had, and we do have a couple more things that have risen to the surface that we'll be talking about from both codified and zoning ordinance perspective for the city. So next Wednesday, 11 a.m. here.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? We'll move then to presentation and approval of the bills.
I move that we approve the bills as presented and the payment be authorized.
Second.
We have a motion from Chad, a second from Mike. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. We don't have any old business, so we'll move right into new business. And this is concerning the proposed public service safety special assessment. We had a public hearing about that 2 weeks ago, and we found out some new information about this after it was proposed last August or September to council. At that time, when it was proposed to council, the committee, the Public Safety Committee, did ask for it to be a special assessment based on a flat fee. Everybody is billed the same. We found out not long before the last meeting that for this special assessment, for this type of special assessment, maybe is a better way to say that, it can't be a flat fee. It had to be levied on a percentage of the taxable value. So we went ahead with our public hearing because we had already posted that. We did get a lot of feedback, and we appreciated everyone sharing their feelings on that special assessment. But after consulting with our attorney, he has recommended that we retract this special assessment as it was proposed because it cannot be the way that we initially proposed it. If we did want to follow up with something similar, we'd have to go back into committee, we'd have to look into it and see what could be done. But his proposal is that we retract that special assessment. So if there's any discussion on that, feel free to enter into discussion from council. Not hearing any discussion, I'm looking for a resolution.
Whereas the city held a hearing on March 21st, 2024 concerning the possibility to create a public safety services special assessment, and whereas the city heard discussion of the potential rates and of the inability to assess residents and property owners on a flat fee basis that are required by law to assess based on taxable value of the real property located within the assessed district. And whereas the city does not find that an assessment based on taxable value of property as opposed to flat fee does not fairly and adequately represent the interest that would be served by providing funding through the proposed public safety and service special assessment, therefore it is resolved that the city shall withdraw the proposed public safety service special assessment presented on March 21st, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion from Larry, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next on our agenda is a CESA report from Trent Atkins. Thank you, Trent, for being here.
Absolutely. My name's Trent Atkins, I'm the chief for CESA. As I was listening here, I'm just going to take the platform to make a couple of comments. First of all, I've got 35 years in public safety, and I can tell you that I've not seen a finer police chief than what you have here in the city of Perry, so you should be very proud of that. The second thing is I'm also the part-time emergency manager for the county, and Everbridge is up and running. So when you do sign up on the public side, you go into a database so that when there's an emergency in the area, it only reaches out to your communication devices and not the entire county. So it's a great program to have. And then I'd like to just mention that we're very proud of Chad for passing EMT. Chad is one of 5 of our firefighters that took the EMT class, and will be moving on to being able to ride the ambulance hopefully in the future, and provide even more enhanced EMS system than what we have right now. We have a lot of great things happening. I know that it's been a while since I've talked to some of you, but just to kind of give you a lay of the land here at the fire station in Perry, we do run 2 full-time paramedic EMTs on an ambulance, but we did transition them that the folks that are stationed here now are also certified firefighters, and they have their turnout gear, and they actually fight fire. So we found that as a great enhancement to our response. It's reduced our response time, being able to use them in some cases where, before 5 o'clock, some of our paid on call, they work, and we don't get as many people as we want, so to be able to get a rig out the door really fast, a fire truck out the door with at least a couple of people is really important. As we look to the future, we're, with Chad and the other EMTs that we have on the department, we're looking to create a backup system, if you will. Currently now we have 2 24-hour ambulances and 1 12-hour ambulance. But if Perry goes out, they have to come from many times the other side of the county, from the Durant and Vernon area. With the EMTs coming on board, we'll be able to notify them when the primary ambulance goes out of the station, and they'll be able to come in and staff a second ambulance. So the wait time will be significantly less if there's a back-to-back emergency. So we're very excited about that. So this last quarter has been a pretty busy quarter for us. We had 60 fire runs in the last quarter. Last year, in the first quarter, we only had 41. So a pretty significant increase. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the year, but when you look at it quarterly, it kind of does this anyhow. So the next quarter could be much slower or much busier. You just never know what's going to happen. But the real important thing is that we've been able to get folks, firefighters, out the door very quickly, and the number of firefighters that we've been able to put on the scene has increased significantly. We have a lot more people that are showing up and getting out the door, so that's really good. For the city of Perry, we made actually 10 fire calls last month. We've made 24 total for the year into the city of Perry, just to give you an idea. EMS calls, we made 29 into the city of Perry, and we are somewhere around 280 calls or something like that for the year throughout our coverage area. So we've been very busy, very busy. With all that, all the great things that are happening, unfortunately, we're like everybody else, we're dealing with older equipment. We're dealing with, the increase in all the costs for goods, durable goods and equipment and things like that. Just to give you an idea, durable medical goods increased 8% last year. So you buy a Band-Aid, that was, $1 or whatever before, and now it's 8 cents more as an example. Medical equipment has increased over 100%. So a cardiac monitor, and this has really been pre-COVID and post-COVID, right? Post-COVID, as we know, a lot of costs went up. There's been a lot of inflation. Just for a heart monitor, you used to be able to buy them pre-COVID for around 20 grand. You won't touch them for under 60 now. Pretty significant, $60,000 for a heart monitor. Ambulances, you would buy under 200,000, like around 150, $180,000. Now you won't touch them for under 3. Prices have just significantly gone up. We're faced with repairs from an older fleet. Engine 2, which is one of our newer engines, just recently got back from Grayling where they did all the work on it, and there was some recalls on problems that we were having with it. We were thankful that they found the recalls. It would have been probably about a $20,000 bill for us had it not been. We currently have Tanker 2 at station number 2. The tank mounts have rusted so badly that they were afraid that it might actually roll off the truck. It was just so bad. And then there was a number of other issues with the motor and some of the other things. So the total cost on that is going to be about $22,000 for us to repair that. That's a 1995 tanker. We looked at what it would cost to replace something of equal from 1995, and it would be about $60,000. To buy a brand new tanker, it would be probably somewhere in the $750,000. But the problem you have with rigs right now, to buy really any ambulance, any fire truck, you're looking at about a 3-year wait. So you get a value or a quote for $1 million this year. In 3 years, it could be $1.5 million, and there's nothing you can do about it just because of the inflation costs. So, we're suffering like everybody else. I'm paying more for a gallon of milk at the store, just like everybody. But we're still trying to continue to provide the exact same service, right? We're trying to provide a good service. We're pinching our pennies. We're stretching them as far as we can. We do have a full-time staff. They are union. Our insurance for them renews on June 1st, and it's going up 18% for healthcare insurance. With the union and negotiations, we have to give raises every year. These are all things that cost us money, as well as the issues with the increased cost in equipment and durable goods. So we've had to look at some things kind of with a different lens, right? And the board has passed 2 resolutions, and I think you guys received a letter on this already. The first one is that next year for 2025, we are going to have to increase our EMS assessment by $10, which is about 9%. It's really unfortunate, but as I noted, there is so much that's going up, and the cost of doing business is going up, that unfortunately, to be able to continue what we're doing, we have to increase that assessment. And then the second thing is they actually passed a resolution to add a $0.5 to the fire millage. So that would give us, that would put us at 1.75 mils. However, that only request is for 2 years, and that's to allow us to catch up with some of the equipment maintenance and replacement issues that we have. So after 2 years, we think that we'll kind of be out from underneath the gun, if you will, with the inflation. And keep in mind, none of these costs, the $110 was probably long overdue for the EMS. Now we're going to $120. Many places are over $200 just in our own county for an assessment. So we're very fortunate that having a much larger coverage area, kind of the quantity, helps us to keep some of the costs down because we do get insurance. Which, by the way, it's interesting to note that while our costs, EMS costs across the country are averaging an increase of 12 to 20%, Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross, they raised their rates by 5% and 8% this year. So it's hard to keep up with that, right? So the equipment millage anyhow that we're looking for would be for, it says right here in the proposal, funding of fire equipment for fire and rescue services, including but not limited to fire equipment, fire apparatus, personal protective equipment, and building safety equipment, and the maintenance and debt service thereof as authorized by Section 12. So we're looking at those two things. Actually, they've both been passed by resolution, and so we'll see those, the fire millage on the August ballot, August 6th ballot, and then of course the increased assessment will take place January 1st of 2025. So, any other questions?
Can you speak to the ambulance assessment? So just to clarify what that 110 or going up to 120 pays for, because I think there may be some misinformation out there that what people think that covers.
Sure. So right now we're operating on with ambulances that are anywhere from 5 to 10 years old. They need to be rechassised or replaced, and there's not been any funding set aside for it because the rate, the assessment was kept so low for so long, there wasn't any room in there for that. The cardiac monitor, as I mentioned, we have just enough to put on the ambulances. If one goes bad, we have to find $60,000 to replace that. It's going to go to covering some of the inflation costs that we have on durable goods as well as equipment. And then, of course, keeping fuel as fuel prices are increasing, keeping fuel in the ambulances, all those kind of things. I'm not really sure, Bob, what the misinformation was, but I'd be happy to correct it if you could give it to me.
Because, insurance, if somebody goes out, you call the ambulance and your insurance pays $100, whatever, then there's a balance left. That balance is still owed. This 110 or 120 doesn't cover that balance.
That's correct.
That's kind of, there's some misunderstanding, I shouldn't say misinformation, misunderstanding of how that works and what we need, what Cessa needs the money to operate with.
Yeah, so of course our budget is made up of both the insurance recovery that we get as well as the assessment. We could not operate with strictly the recovery from the insurance alone. We couldn't do it. It's just absolutely impossible. Our budget is somewhere for EMS somewhere around $1.7 million. I'm thinking off the top of my head, so don't quote me on that, but it's right in that area. And we make just a little over $800,000 from insurance companies. So it's pretty significant loss that we would take if we didn't have the assessment. And the assessment, the cost of the assessment is, still, it's right around $10 a month, right? So $10 a month versus that cup of coffee at Big B, right? That just about $10 now. To have that $10 to assure that you have an ambulance that's available and ready to respond when you're injured, when your loved one gets hurt, has a heart attack, whatever the case may be, that's pretty important. Unfortunately, and I could get on the soapbox about the current state of medicine, but in Shiawassee County, we are so far from any hospitals, even Memorial from the south end. And so people rely on pre-hospital medicine, like, with the ambulances, really to take care of their care many times. We go on calls, everything from, somebody that fell down or, didn't feel well, things that, in years and years past, you would be able to get in to see your doctor maybe that same day to see him. And now, of course, when you try to make a doctor's appointment, it may take you weeks to get in to see them. You go to the Ready Care and, they'll give you a couple Band-Aids, and you go to the ER and you got a big bill from your insurance company. So pre-hospital medicine is extremely important. When we look at, as an example, we go on a significant amount of cardiac arrests, unfortunately, in the area, in the community. And when we arrive, we're literally bringing the emergency room to the person. We're not throwing them on a backboard or a cot and rushing them to the hospital. We literally work that patient in their house until they have a pulse. and then we continue to treat them as we're taking them to the hospital. Because to move them and take them someplace, it's very difficult to do work in the back of the ambulance when it's running. And of course, their best survival is right there while we're giving them definitive treatment. So having that ambulance here in this community is very important to us. I live in Antrim Township, and so I'm a resident of the county, and it's very important to me and my family as well, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, well, I appreciate your time, and
Thank you,
as
Charlie.
always, you can always give me a call if you have any questions, so thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah.
Council, would you like to have the further discussion of the CESA assessment and a possible vote put on the agenda for our next meeting?
Yes, that should be put on the agenda.
Is there any other business that needs to come before council at this time? Is there anyone here for public comment who wasn't here for the earlier public comment, would like to step up? Come right up to the podium. Yeah, meeting started at 7. Would you rather sit down, Janice, or are you?
No, I'm good. Once I get up, it's hard to get up and get back down.
All right. You have 5 minutes, just so you know.
Okay. Okay, I watched the meeting that you had the 21st, I believe, of March, about the new property tax. Now, I live at Washington Square, which is a senior rural housing development.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to make sure you understood that our vote earlier retracted that. So that is no longer.
Oh, is it? Okay, good.
That's gone.
I didn't see, yeah.
It's
I thought you wouldn't start the
off
public
the
meeting
table.
until 7:15, but anyway. So, yeah, so that's good. What my question was going to be was, in the regards to the bike trails and the walking trails and the bridge, I wondered if the Obama American assessors had contacted you to get a federal grant to build those, and then you're under contract with the ICLEI, which is the ICLEI's, what does it stand for? Sustainable Development, and part of the Agenda 2025, 2030, through the WIFT, which is the World Economic Forum, and the United Nations. So I wondered if that, had they contacted you about that?
Those items that you mentioned are simply things that are in the draft for our master plan. There's been no committee, no assignment, no detailed research into doing those things, how they would be accomplished, how much they would cost, and how they could be funded. So, no, we have not reached out to anybody like that yet.
They haven't reached out to you, they normally do. I was in Traverse City when all of that happened up there.
No, we've
So-
not heard from them.
Okay, good. And then, is there other businesses in our town that do not pay taxes, like where I lived?
Not under that program, no, because your facility and Cherry Hill are both under a pilot program. They do pay taxes, but it's not collected as property tax.
Right.
Megan, would you like to address that for people so they'll
It's called
understand?
payment in lieu of taxes. So the apartment complex has an annual audit. They pay the city, instead of taxes, they pay a portion, a percentage of their revenue annually. It comes to the city, and just like taxes where they're distributed to the school district, the state, the county, I think last year it was about $40,000. Of that 40,000, 5,500 stayed with the city. The rest was distributed to all the other entities similar to taxes, but it is called payment in lieu of taxes.
And that was agreed to by the city years ago, before those facilities were built, because they were proposed as low-income housing, and the rent is based on the person's income. So that's the program that they're under. We only have 2 facilities, yours and Cherry Hill, that are on that program.
Right. Right, and we cannot collect, because they're on a 10% subsidy, we cannot get a property tax refund on our rent we pay them. We have electric heat there. Consumers' energy has gone up to 22 cents a kilowatt hour. And our heat prices, and it's only in the senior apartment of 24. At Cherry Hill, they have forced air, and the rural housing development makes the owners of it pay the heat bill. And just the electric. We have to pay the electric for the heat, the AC, and our lights
Yeah.
on fixed income. So anyway, that's what I was gonna talk about. I guess there's no sign, I don't need to sign in who I am.
We know, you don't, we know who you
Yeah,
are.
all righty, take care.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Tim.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else here for public comment? Council, any other discussions or observations you'd like to make at this time? We have the agenda item for the assessment. Any other agenda items for our next meeting? If not, our meeting's adjourned at 7:42. Thank you.